Hi everyone, welcome to this challenge. Hope that you are hearing me now. Okay, so let's start. Welcome to this 5-day challenge about stop overeating. Okay, I'm going to explain you a little bit how is this going to work. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the reasons why we are overweight, which is especially because we are overeating. And also, I'm going to give you the solution for each one of those. So, when we talk about overeating, it's not only I overeat, I eat too much. Okay. There are several reasons why we overeat. Okay. But today, we are going to talk about other reasons that are not overeating that can lead us to gain weight or prevent us to lose the weight that we want. Okay. So, for each day, it's going to be really 30 to 40 minutes per day, not more than this. Okay. You can ask me questions while I am speaking, or we can discuss at the end. There's no problem. If you're watching the replay, you can also ask the questions, and I'm going to answer them afterwards. And there are going to be some exercises for you because if there's something that I truly believe, and this is something that I would like you to do, it's to be here and not only listen actively, but also take notes and apply what you've learned. Okay, because I know that nowadays there's so many information everywhere and we get easily overwhelmed, but I think that sometimes it's easier just to say, okay, compact all the information, the main information, the most important, apply only these steps. And this is what we are going to do during this week. Okay, so today we are going to talk about all those reasons why we gain weight or we cannot lose weight that are different from overeating. Okay, so there are 3 reasons, especially, which are stress management, sleep, and hydration. Okay, so let's start with stress. What happens when we are stressed? When we are stressed, there's going to be a release of a cortisol. Cortisol is a hormone, it's a stress hormone, okay? And it's our inner steroid. As you may know, steroids are drugs that we are using to treat a lot of different kinds of diseases. And those steroids have a lot of secondary effects, side effects, typically, and these are the ones that can have an impact on your weight, are that they are going to increase your sugar levels. Okay, so when we release cortisol, there's a bunch of energy in that is released in the bloodstream. Okay, I'm going to explain you why. Okay, it's going to increase your appetite. Okay, so you are going to be more hungry, you're going to feel hungrier, and it also affects the fat distribution. Okay, so you are going to have, when you are stressed, you're going to have tendency to accumulate your fat here in the belly. So, okay, so these are the 3 side effects. Okay, so what is happening? So when we are stressed, there's this cortisol that it's a bunch of energy in form of sugar that it's going to be released in the bloodstream, and this is because it's going to help us to escape from the predators. Okay, so we have to go back into our ancestors' lives, okay, when there were punctual but life-threatening situations. Okay, and we need to have all this energy to escape from them. Okay, so at that time when we were in danger, we were using all that energy at that time. So there was a lot of sugar, a lot of energy in the bloodstream, but all this energy was consumed by this physical effort. Okay, so nowadays, fortunately, we are not in danger. Okay, there are no longer predators, but the problem that we have is that we are all the time stressed. Of course, it's a different stress because it's not a physical, life-threatening stress. It's a psychological stress. And our societies have evolved a lot, but our minds and our bodies are still the same as the ancestors. which means that for our body means that there's a life-threatening situation. So it happens exactly the same. So when we are psychologically stressed, there's going to be this release of cortisol, this release of a bunch of energy. Okay, but the problem is that now we are not going to consume that energy because we don't have to escape from a predator. We have the predator here. Okay, and nowadays we are moving less than ever, which means that we have all the time this bunch of energy because we are chronically stressed. We are feeling stressed not one time, from time to time. We are getting stressed almost all the day. Okay, and this energy is not being used, which means that it has been stored all the time. Okay, so that's the reason why we are gaining weight or we cannot lose weight when we are stressed. Okay, so the solution for this nowadays, I'm sure that you already know, there are plenty of possibilities. You can do yoga, you can do mindfulness, you can journal, you can do exercise. Exercise, it's really something very healthy, plenty of benefits. Okay, and so you just have to choose which one works better for you and which one is the one that you really like. Okay, so this would be the first thing that you have to take into account when you lose weight. You have to learn how to manage your stress. Okay, second, it's the quality of your sleep. Okay, as you know, sleep has a lot of functions, vital functions. So it helps us to improve our cognitive functioning. It helps us to improve our memory. It helps us to improve the response of our immune system, which is very important in these days. Okay, it helps us to regulate, to balance our mood as well. Okay, our stress. Okay, so when you are sleeping, this is one thing, so it's very important for this thing. And then when you are sleeping, you are not eating, which means that when you are not eating, you are not having insulin in your bloodstream, high levels of insulin. I'm going to talk about this in 2 days, okay? But when we have the insulin levels are low, we can access to the fat that we are stored and we can start burning. So we can start losing weight. Okay? So that's why it's important to really sleep enough time. But not only this, because even if you sleep, you may be sleeping 9 hours, but if the quality of your sleep it's not good enough, if you are waking several times per night, you are not having a restorative sleep. And in terms of weight, what it happens is that your hormone of hunger, it's going to increase, which means that you are going to feel more hungry all the time the next day. Okay, and your hormone of fullness, it's going to decrease, which means that you will need to eat more in order to feel satisfied. Okay, so if you think, for example, typically one night where you haven't slept very well, the next day probably you will recall that you had eaten a little bit more, or you were not really hungry but you were eating even if you were already full. So it's really difficult to keep in contact with our body signals when we haven't slept well. Okay, but just tell you that it really metabolically there's something happening that makes you gain weight, which is that you are going to feel more hungry and less full. Okay, so the solution here is I always recommend sleep between 7 and 9 hours, and I always recommend to have a good quality of sleep. Okay, this doesn't mean, this is also another important question that I usually have. If you now are sleeping, let's say 8 hours, you're not going to lose weight sleeping now 9 hours. Okay, conversely, if you are sleeping 5 hours per night and you start to sleep 7 hours per night, you are probably going to lose weight. Okay. You may wonder, how do I know if I had a restorative sleep? The answer is very easy. 30 minutes after waking up, when you have already done your bath or taken your coffee, have breakfast, whatever you do in the very early in the morning, you ask to yourself, how am I feeling? If you are feeling plenty of energy, you're feeling good, this means that you have got a restorative sleep. Conversely, if you are still feeling tired, a little bit sleepy, it means that probably your sleep has not been good enough. Okay, so this is the second one: stress, sleep, and then hydration. Hydration is very important, and this is something that we never think about it. So we can start to feel physical sensation, and the first thing that we think is, oh, I may be hungry, so I'm going to eat. And the problem is that nowadays we are so disconnected from our bodies that we cannot distinguish if we are hungry, if we are thirsty, or if it's even hungry but emotional hunger. Okay, so in this process of weight loss permanently, you should reconnect with your body. You should be able to really recognize physical hunger and distinguish from emotional hunger. Okay, and of course, if you are thirsty as well. So, what I suggest you to do is when you are feeling, you start to feel something in your body and you say, I am hungry. Next time you feel that you are hungry, instead of going there and start eating, just pause for a moment and you're going to write down what are your physical sensations. And you may notice something like, I notice something in my stomach. You don't have to be very precise if you don't really identify your physical sensations, okay? So as long as you practice this, you're going to see that it's getting better and easier, okay? But it's just okay if you say, I notice something in the stomach and my mouth is getting dry, okay? So before eating, just pick a glass of water, you drink a glass of water, and then you're going to wait for 15 minutes. And after 15 minutes, you ask again, am I still having this sensation? If you're still having this sensation, probably it's hungry. It's hunger, so you can go and eat, okay? The answer is very simple. If you are no longer feeling hunger, means that it was really that you were thirsty, okay? So what I recommend you is to really ensure that your hydration is enough. And how to do this, okay? We used to talk about drinking 1 liter, 2 liters per day. It is really relative. It depends on the season. It depends on if you have exercised before or if you have eaten very salty. So your requirements can change a lot. What I use to measure if I am enough hydrated, it's the color of my urine. If your urine is yellow pale, means that your hydration it's normal, okay? So of course in the morning the first urine is going to be more concentrated. It's going to be very yellow or even orange, okay? This is totally normal, okay? It's not normal to have a clear urine first hour in the morning. So this is totally normal during the when it's the first time in the morning, but for the rest of the day, the color of your urine, it's going to tell you if you are well hydrated or not. So really, if you see that you have the urine which is yellow, you're in the middle of the day, means that you need to drink. And just doing this, you're going to realize that there are a lot of times where you were supposed to eat, and finally what you really have was hunger. Okay, so this is really very interesting. Okay, so these are the 3 things that I wanted to talk about today, which are the causes of things that can lead you to gain weight or not to lose weight. But I also want to cover another thing that is very important. This is not related directly with this, but it is very related to the topic of starting this journey of lasting weight loss. And it's about talking about the importance of knowing what we really want. Okay, so you want to lose weight, but how many pounds or kilograms do you want to lose? Okay, and which is the time frame that you are giving? This is very important to be very specific on that, because this is going to help us give us direction and say, okay, I want to lose 50 pounds in the next 6 months. Okay, what do I want? What do I have to do in order to get there with this time frame? But moreover, which is really important, it's to know why you want to lose weight. Okay, you have to find your compelling reasons. Compelling reasons to override those moments where you just have your cookies in front of you and everybody is telling you, oh, they are delicious, you just have to eat them. You have to find the reason why not to go there and eat. Okay, so what I suggest you for you, this is very simple to do. It's to make a list with all the reasons why you want to lose weight. So let's say, for example, because I want to feel healthier, because I want to feel lighter, because I want to feel more comfortable, because I want to wear smaller clothes. So you are going to make all that list, and then you are going to pick each why, okay, each sentence, and you are going to apply the 3 whys technique, which means that you are going to ask 3 times, why do I want this? So let's put an example. I want to lose 50 kilograms. Why do I want to lose 50 pounds? Why do I want to lose 50 pounds? Because I want to, I don't know, look better in my bikinis. And why do I want this? Because I want to feel comfortable when I go to the swimming pool. And why do I want to feel comfortable to go to the when I go to the swimming pool? Because my kids love to go to the swimming pool, and I want to spend more time with them. Okay, so here we have got to a deeper why, which is really one of your deepest desire. And this is not something that it's coming when you think about lose weight. You're not thinking about your kids and spending more time, but by doing this exercise, you realize that there are more things behind what you originally thought. Okay, and when you are doing this you are doing the 3 whys technique with each sentence, you are getting a bigger picture of what you really want. And I recommend you to look for several compelling reasons, because, for example, let's say that one of those, it's this one. So I want to look better in my bikinis. So if it's, for example, December, Christmas times, and everybody is eating a lot, and you have delicious things there, and you say, oh my God, why do I want to lose weight? Yeah, it's because I want to look better in my bikinis, feel better in my bikinis. And you think about this and you say, well, it's 6 months ahead of time. This is not compelling enough at that moment. So that's why it's important to have as much compelling reasons as possible to find each reason help us in different situations. Okay, so just be aware that you don't want simply lose weight because you want to feel more confident or you want to feel more lighter or whatever. Those things that you say that you want to feel are the things that you are denying yourself with this current weight. And this is something that we have to change, because you don't need to get there. You don't need to lose all those pounds or those kilograms in order for you to feel confident or to feel more lighter or to feel better or to be healthier. You can already right now feel like it. Okay, so you, in fact, feeling more confident, trusting more in yourself right now, this is really what it's going to get you to the weight that you want. So the exercise for today, it's think about those 3 reasons that I gave you, which are out of overeating, which is stress management, hydration, and sleep, quality of sleep. And think about which one of them, or maybe the 3 of them, you are going to start with. Okay, if they are having an impact on you, in your case, if you say, no, I am not stressed at all, okay, which it's possible, but it's really rare right now. But well, It is possible. So maybe you have to improve. You can also improve your sleep, or you can start to apply what I told you in terms of hydration. Next time when you are feeling hungry, instead of eating, just acknowledge your physical signals and then drink a glass of water. No hunger afterwards, 15 minutes after it was thirsty, or if you are hungry, you just have to eat. And then the second exercise, it's making this list with, so first of all, write what you really want and really be specific on this. And then secondly, you are going to make all that list with all your whys, and you're going to apply the 3 whys technique to get this bigger picture that we want. So that's all what I've got for you today. As I told you, every day it's going to be about 30 to 40 minutes, okay, where I'm going to talk or discuss about something particular in this. You can always ask me questions, write it down in the Q&A, or even if you are watching the replay, and you have any question, you just have to write it down, and I'll be glad to answer them. So tell me right now if you have any question. I'll be glad to do it. And as I told you, really, I think that applying this, so doing these little exercises that I am going to suggest you every single day, this is a start applying. And this is what we really want to. We don't want to have more information. We already have a lot of information. If we really want to go further, we need to apply this. Okay? So go ahead and ask me any questions. And if you don't have any question, we can just say, I'm going to announce the topic of tomorrow. We are going to dive deep into tapping with our body sensation. Okay, this is very important, to tap into our body signals of hunger, fullness, thirsty as well. Okay, so I'm going to explain you how to distinguish different types of hunger that we have, and how to start sensing what is really to be full. And this is important because nowadays we are eating by the clock every 3 hours, every 4 hours, or when we are stressed. So we are not paying attention to our body signals. And the problem is that we end up eating when we are not hungry, and we end up not knowing if we are what does being hungry looks like. Okay, and when we start to eat when we are not feeling hungry, it's impossible to know when we are full. So the idea is to start to reconnect with our body and start working from that. So I know that this can be a little bit challenging for some of you. This is totally normal. Okay, this means if it's challenging for you, this means that you haven't been practiced that enough. So the more you practice, the better you become at. Okay, so if you don't have any question, so Debbie say, what is your best self-control method? What do you mean exactly? Best self-control. Tell me a little bit more, Debbie. So my best self-control method, it's not that I have a method. I am using a framework that I am going to explain you in the last day, the day 5. Where do you want to eat? Where you want to eat and you don't. So when I can eat and So first of all, what I do, Debbie, it's when I have something, I don't know if I get you right, okay? But I think that yes. So when I have something in front of me that really is telling me, oh, eat me right now, or I have thoughts like, this is delicious, this is my favorite thing, the first thing that I do really is to say, okay, this is delicious. Okay, am I really hungry now? Okay, this is the first question. And of course, the answer, when you ask yourself this question, you are giving yourself the opportunity to choose. And this is very important because you may end up eating and it's okay, even if you are not feeling hungry, or you may end up not eating because you are not feeling hungry. So both answers are right. But the important thing here is just to open this window and look at it as an opportunity, so we can always choose if we want to eat or not. And I am telling this because a lot of times we have the sensation that we are out of control. It's like, no, I just get at home, I was very stressed, and I end up the bag of cookies, okay? And this is not something that you are not doing consciously, okay? So there's a process before eating and ending that bag of cookies that maybe we are not 100% aware now, because we have been practicing this so many times that it has become automatic and it has become a little bit unconscious. Okay, but we are always in control. So when you have something in front of you and you just ask to yourself, am I hungry now? This is the first, really the first step. And of course, the idea is that if you are not hungry, you are not going to eat this. But of course, there will be some times where you say, okay, it's my birthday. I had already decided, I had planned ahead, and I was deciding yesterday that today I was going to have a piece of cake, and it's okay to have it. Okay, so this doesn't mean that you are never going to enjoy eating, but the idea it's not to work always with this autopilot. Okay, so the idea is to pause ourselves and say, okay, am I really hungry or not? And then decide what we really want to do. I'm not sure if I have answered your question, Debbie. If I didn't, you can just let me know. And this is what it's all about. So it's really a mental game. Okay, so we are going to. You're welcome, Debbie. We are going to dive deep these next days, but it's really about giving ourselves the opportunity of this self-awareness to see what is happening in our brain, what are we telling ourselves, okay? And pausing there and giving ourselves the chance to choose. This is the most important. Okay? Thank you. So for those who are watching this in the replay, don't hesitate to let me your comments here, your questions or whatever. Okay, I will be glad. And if it's okay for you, so we are going to continue tomorrow with this connection with our body. Okay, so thank you for your attention and see you tomorrow. Bye.